Greetings all, Precious the New Jamaican here. While our building project is on hold, I thought I would share some information with you that may be helpful should you build a house here in Jamaica. Stay tuned. Now, let me preface this by saying that if you are building in a building scheme, none of this applies to you. That's a totally different deal. Everything is handled and taken care of. You're not your own builder. This is for those of you, people like us, who purchased some land here and essentially became our own builder. We, of course, had to seek out builders, so to speak, laborers, plumbers, electricians, so forth and so on. So if that is you, this might be helpful to you. Um, I guess where I want to start off is budget, 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 budget. Now, that may sound a little odd if you've never built a house or you have no idea what it all involves, what an electrician should cost, what a plumber should cost, what a builder should cost. But do your best. That also may mean that you may need to employ someone um, who has that knowledge. And then you're going to stick to that budget as much as possible. Now, Raymond has a construction background, so we were blessed in that regard that he kind of has an idea of what things should and should not cost and what things should and should not be. Now, mind you, that was in the U.S. It's a totally different country. Um, we just had to guess when it came to budgeting for everything because we just didn't know. For us, as would be the case for anyone, you're going to come in really, really low on some things because you don't know what it will cost. Some other things you're going to come in really, really high. Other things you're going to be dead on. What's going to be okay is that for those items that you came in extremely low on, it's going to even out because there are going to be some items that you came in very, very high in. So it will level itself out and work itself out. But you want to do a budget. You want to be thorough with these numbers. Again, stick to that budget as much as possible. I'll write some things down so that I don't forget. Um, yeah, so you keep your budget. The next thing you want to think about is another thing with respect to the budget. We didn't just sort of like willy-nilly write it down. We had a whole Excel spreadsheet, and Raymond listed everything as to what he thought is going to cost for building material, what he thought is going to cost for, say, a plumber, and the equipment and well, not the equipment, but the supplies and material that would be needed for that. Then as we purchase things, he plugged in the numbers, being able to compare it to the numbers that he initially budgeted for. And that's how we know whether we came in too high, whether we came in extremely low. And of course, you're going to know this when you start talking to different individuals, vendors and whatnot, to see what they would charge for different services. But yeah, you want to write everything down and stick to it as much as possible. So the other thing I want you to keep in mind is to put everything you possibly can in writing. Now, what we did, say with our plumber, our electrician, and even our carpentry work, where we're having all of our doors, interior and exterior doors, as well as our cabinetry, we did a contract. We came up with the contract ourselves, went over it, a draft with the different vendors. This is after we've searched and shopped around for vendors, and you know we've done that already. But after we did so, I came to an agreement with, say, the plumber. We did a contract with him, and we went over the numbers and whatnot. We came to an agreement as to what the whole project would cost, because you're not going to pay anything by the day. You're going to do it by the job. And even our plumber recommended we do that. So we came upon with came up with an agreed price. Then we went ahead and did up our contract, did a draft of it after we both came to an agreement with everything that was in the contract. We signed it. They have copies, we have copies, and we also, along with our copies, we gave them a copy of the blueprint of the house, just attached to the contract. That's just what we did. After we signed up all of that, one of the things on the contract, we expressed the amount that we will pay at the start of the project, because you're going to need that, because they're going to have to buy supplies and material and all that. And of course, that a lot of times that doesn't include the materials and whatnot. That's really just the labor. But so you're going to put the amount that you're going to pay for the start of the project when you're midway through the project, or when a certain amount of the project is done, the final payment to be paid out after the project is complete. Another thing that we wanted to expressly put, that we did put in our contracts, that this person guarantees their work. And so if there is something wrong with their work, they will indeed fix it. So we did that. That is something that you should definitely do and keep in mind. What another thing that you should keep in mind is that a lot of people, a lot of the vendors, these may be people who have been doing this for years and have a very good reputation, but they may not really have a bank account. So you may have to be paying them by cash. Um, Maybe in certain parts of the country, like say in Kingston, you may not find this as much. I really don't know. I don't live in Kingston, but I'm just guessing. Um, but you're going to have a receipt book. If you have to pay anybody by cash, you're going to have a receipt book, and you're going to stick to it. Give them their copy. You have it in your records, so that you will be able to go back and say, look, I definitely paid you. There will be no issues. There will be no issues. Just be able to put everything in writing. Otherwise, I always recommend wiring the money to the person's bank account. Now, you will know that if you go back and see some of my old videos with respect to banking, there are different types of banks here. There are many, many, many banks here. And some of them are top tier and some of them are not. And what I mean by that, there are some banks here, some people have credit union accounts. You cannot wire money into those accounts. So it doesn't matter if they have a bank account, you're going to have to pay them some other kind of way, either via cash or by Western Union or MoneyGram, which I wouldn't recommend doing because it's a fee every time you use MoneyGram or Western Union. It's just not worth it. That's why you're going to have a receipt book. But otherwise, I would recommend paying everyone you can via wire transfer. That way you have a record on your account. You can put, in your memo section what this payment is for, so forth and so on. Another thing that you may find interesting is that a lot of businesses, granted, these are small businesses that I'm talking about, may not actually have a business bank account. It takes a while to set that up a lot of times. And so you may be dealing with somebody who you're going to have to wire money into their personal account. Just keep that in mind. So long as you have on the memo explaining what this payment is for, you should have no issues. Keep that in mind. Yes, when it comes to what you agreed upon, like say for example, if you have hired someone to dig the foundation, and you all come to an agreed upon price. Now this is something that you're probably not going to have a contract with, and that's fine, but you're going to come to agreed upon price. You're going to do these jobs by the job and not by the day. Say they get started and they say, wow, it looks like I'm actually going to need more people in order to do this job. That's fine. They can hire more people. That has nothing to do with you. Any payment that they need for additional crew, they have to pay out of the money that you all have already agreed upon. They will know this. I just want to make sure you know this. Again, if they say we're going to we came to an agreement on this price to say dig the foundation, and they get started and it's like, oh snap, I actually need more people to do this. I need to hire more people, so you need to pay more money. No, not a deal. They can hire more people. They have to pay them out of the money that you all agreed upon. So that's that. When it comes to block work, this is another person, another vendor that we did not do a contract for. You probably don't necessarily need to do a contract for. Here in Jamaica, what they tend to do is charge, they meaning the person who's going to be laying your block for your walls, your beams and your lintels and all that jazz. They tend to charge you an amount per 100 blocks. So it's really difficult to say how much they're going to charge you because it's going to depend on what part of the country you're in. Kingston, it may be significantly higher than it would be for East Portland or St. Mary. Ocho Rios may be extremely high. I really don't know. So it's really difficult for me to tell you exactly how much you will be charged for something like that. But just keep in mind that typically you're going to pay X amount of dollars per 100 blocks to build walls. When it comes to your columns, your beams, and your lintels, they're going to charge you X amount of blocks per linear foot. So just keep that in mind. I guess if someone came to you and said, "Oh, okay, well, I'll charge you $30,000 Jamaican per 100 block," okay, they're being ridiculous. That's an outrageous amount. But to be able to tell you exactly how much it will cost for something like that, I really can't tell you. Just keep that in mind. It is X amount of dollars per 100 blocks for the walls, and X amount of dollars per linear foot for beams, lintels, and your columns. We are doing a solar system. We did not do a contract for that. We talked about what we needed, the type of system that we needed. The price of that is the price of that, for the materials and whatnot. The gentleman who is doing our putting in our solar system gave us his price for the labor, which wasn't that bad, and we just agreed upon that. Because of what's happening in the world, we wanted to get all of the equipment for our solar system immediately because still right now we're trying to get supplies and equipment and materials for the house for different places, like say for our plumbing and all that, and none of these stores have it. They've been out of stock for months and months and months. So that's another thing you need to keep in mind. Now if you're are building way in the future, things may change, but if you're building in the near future or right now, keep in mind that there are a lot of stores and whatnot who are low on supplies. Things have been out of stock for months and months and months. They cannot tell you when they're going to get it in. Some have told us, oh, we actually have like 3 containers on the way. And that was months ago, still not here. So if you have the opportunity to get some material that you need for your home build, get it. Get it right then. Don't wait. I guess the final thing that I want to talk about is do things by the book. Do things by the book. Now, what do I mean by that? As I told you, you know that we went through the parish council, submitted our blueprints to the parish council. We got a notice of intent to build. Was told that within 30 days we would have our building permit. Yeah, we still do not have our builder permit. We have then been instructed to go ahead and get started, so forth and so on. We were supposed to have someone was supposed to come out to the site to take a look at the project thus far. He could not get out there. Someone from the parish council, he could not get out there, and also to just send him video and whatnot, which we did. So all is well. The reason I am expressing to go ahead and do that, and I told you that another builder told us they went through the parish council, they finished building the house, and they still do not have their builder permit. I saw on the news not even 2 weeks ago where an entire building scheme got shut down. I think it was in St. Elizabeth. I can't remember which parish got shut down because they did not go through the parish council. Now, you would think that a building scheme would know better than not to do something like that. They have all of the necessary paperwork and blueprints and so forth that is needed to start this project. But I guess maybe they were of the mindset that, and I'm guessing, that they take too long in the way and I may not ever get my building permit, so I'm just going to go ahead and build. They shut them down. Now, they said they immediately submitted their plans and all that. I guarantee you it's going to take a long time for them to get going again because they decided to not do it the right way. For those of us who are not building who have not lived here forever, who are not building a little house, be it a temporary structure or not, on some family land, you have to do it by the book. You better do it by the book. These are the people that the parish council, we are the people that the parish council would shut down. It's just not worth it. Once they shut you down, I'm not saying that your project won't get off the ground, but you're going to have some issues, and it's just not a good idea to tick these people off. Just do things the right way. Yeah. Well, that is all I have for you today. Again, if you are building in a building scheme, none of this has anything to do with you. That's a whole different setup. But remember, make a budget, stick to it, do contracts, and stick to them. Have if you have a verbal agreement with someone, stick to that. If when it comes to paying people, you want to wire money if when you can. If you cannot, you're gonna have receipt book. Give them their copy. Keep your copy. Do things by the book. Do not tick off the parish council. You do not want your project being shut down because you never know when it's going to get rolling again. You're going to have delays along the way. Trust me, I know. You see how long it has taken me to get up videos because we've had slow ups and shutdowns and so forth and so on, but that's all in the nature of building a home, not just here in Jamaica, but anywhere. So that is actually, again, that's all I have for you today. I trust this information was informative. I trust it was helpful. I thank you so much for spending part of your day with me. If you have not done so, please go back and give my other videos a watch, a like, a comment, and share them as well. I will see you in the next video.